Throughout my entire life, I identified as an introvert. I still do think I'm an introvert, but not like before. Before, I had major social anxiety, major fears in talking to people. Like, my whole family knew this, and they would joke around with me. They would mess around with me, make fun of me because of it. It was a few times, like one time we would go through a drive-through, right? And drive through for McDonald's or something, and my dad would roll down my window. Well, he'd roll down my window to mess with me, and I'd freak out, bro. I'd take off my seatbelt, dude. He'd run on my window, and I'd take off my seatbelt and like freaking try hiding underneath. Ah, yeah. I. It was. It's not a pretty weird experience. Not weird, but like thinking back now, that's kind of cringe. Not gonna lie, I'd have a panic attack. That's what it was. See, I was the type of kid I always had a question in class, but I never asked the teacher, and you know that feeling kind of sucks when you actually have a question in your mind that's repeated over and over and over and over again, and you know for a fact that if you ask it, you will get an answer. Get the answer you're looking for. But you don't ask it at all, bro. Your head gets heavy with those thoughts. And then when the teacher asks, is there any questions? Your ears start burning. Like, shoot, bro. Like, why can't I speak up? If I just had the confidence to say something, I would. And so, confidence is a fully stacked word. By definition, it is a state of feeling certain about the truth of something. Certainty of your own abilities, of your own judgment. See, I was pretty confident that I had no confidence. Pretty certain that I had no confidence. So, I mean, how can I be certain of my abilities if I've never done it before? You know, if I've never spoke up and asked a question before, if I've never approached a girl before, how would I have confidence? And in the beginning, you simply won't have confidence. So stop asking for it. There's no magic words you can say to brainwash yourself to become confident. No magic tactics to implement. Like, all these guides on YouTube saying 10 ways to be confident, you know, if you just say these words or something like that. It's whack. It's whack. You can't just be confident. Confidence isn't a switch in the body. If you try to act confident when you're not, you won't be authentic. Like, people can see it. It's fake. You don't just have confidence in the same way you don't just have success. You have to build it. You have to build a stack of evidence that proves you have confidence, that proves you have success. You know? And you do that by taking action despite your fears, despite the potential consequences, despite the uncertainty, despite that feeling of other people judging you or stuff like that. You know, despite that internal feeling, despite your emotions. And for that, you don't need courage. Oh shoot! Mess up the line, the hitter, the big hitter. Let me try that again. And for that, you don't need confidence. You need courage. You see, because courage builds confidence. It takes courage to stand at the edge of your comfort zone and lean just beyond it. It takes courage to face your fears. You know, I just needed one moment in time to say, screw it. I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna do it. And I worked up the courage to raise my hand in class and ask, could you repeat number 5? Yeah. As a result of that experience, I now know I can ask a question. And if I did it once, I could do it again. And that is when the confidence starts to build. You see, confidence will only come when you prove to your brain that you are confident with prior success, with evidence. Man, Elijah, come on, read your script correctly. And that is why they say the first time is always the hardest. You won't have confidence the first time, which is why courage is needed. And you don't need any prior experience to have courage. Courage is the switch in the brain. You can turn it on and off. You can be a pussy, or you can be a badass guy. You know what I mean? Be a badass guy. It is your decision to just grow some balls and just do it. And once you do it, that confidence you get from doing that same thing over and over and over and over and over again, it ain't universal. I was super confident in my ability to perform in the wrestling ring. I was pretty confident in my skills in wrestling. I was a complete and utter badass at it, actually. Why? Well, because I spent countless hours immersed in wrestling. I watched wrestling videos. I was on the wrestling mat. The thoughts I was thinking was purely wrestling. Everything in my life aligned with wrestling. So my brain already registers like, bro, he's pretty much an expert in wrestling. And since he's an expert, he has the evidence to back up his supremely badass, arrogant, entitled, delusional state of confidence. So we'll just give it to him, But when it came to talking to people, I had no prior experience. I just told you I was still like an introvert. All I did was think wrestling and didn't make connections with anybody. I had no evidence to be confident in my abilities to talk to people. And therefore I was super nervous, bruv. But it is not like I was starting from ground zero. I know what it's like to have courage. To take a step into the unknown and dive into uncertainty. I had evidence to be courageous. I had evidence in doing things that I was uncomfortable doing. And just knowing that gave me a little bit more confidence. You just need to change your perspective. Like once you start doing something, you could kind of shift it so it actually benefits you in your own way. Not that it benefits you, yeah. So, to have confidence wrestling, you have to practice wrestling. To have confidence speaking to people, you have to practice speaking to people. Because that constant repetition of you putting yourself out there builds that evidence. Your brain starts to recognize, hey, I've been there, I've done that. This is nothing new. And you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. It's gonna be hella embarrassing. Hell, I've done countless of embarrassing things. And not on purpose, but it was just me trying to get out of my comfort zone and just do it. Just wing it. And that's a lot of stories for a lot of other videos. But anyway, that's how you learn. You deal with the failure, you deal with the awkwardness, the embarrassingness, and you move forward. Because in order to get the balls rolling, you need courage, not confidence. So grow some balls and hit play. Or hit play, just do it, grow some balls. You know what I mean? Y'all catch my flow. See you guys in the next one.